Scene script. Have you ever wondered just how much plastic is polluting our world? It's an alarming reality that we're going to dive into today. Each year, nearly 300 million tons of plastic are produced globally. That's equivalent to the weight of the entire human population. Shocking, isn't it? Now, imagine this. Around 10% of this plastic, or 30 million tons, ends up in our oceans. To put that into perspective, it's like dumping a garbage truck full of plastic into the sea every minute. And here's the kicker. Plastic takes an average of 450 years to decompose. Some types even take up to 1,000 years. That's longer than any of us, or even several generations after us, will live. As the numbers indicate, plastic pollution is a problem of monumental proportions. Stay tuned as we delve into the consequences of this plastic menace and what we can do about it. So, what happens when plastic invades our environment? Well, the effects are far-reaching and multifaceted. Let's start with wildlife. Every year, countless animals, especially marine life, succumb to the dangers of plastic pollution. Seabirds, turtles, seals, and even whales often mistake plastic for food, leading to fatal blockages in their digestive systems. Moreover, entanglement in abandoned plastic fishing nets or ghost nets is a horrific ordeal faced by countless marine animals. Now let's consider our health. You might think that plastic pollution doesn't affect us directly, but that's far from the truth. Microplastics, tiny fragments of plastic less than 5 millimeters in length, have found their way into our food chain. They're in the fish we eat, the water we drink, and even in the air we breathe. The long-term effects of ingesting microplastics are still largely unknown, but early studies suggest potential harm to our immune systems and even our genetic makeup. But the story doesn't end here. Plastic pollution is also a significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. You see, plastic is derived from fossil fuels, and its production, use, and disposal all release vast amounts of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, exacerbating the climate crisis. Furthermore, when plastic waste isn't properly managed, it often ends up in landfills or is incinerated, both of which further contribute to carbon emissions and other harmful pollutants. The effects of plastic pollution also ripple out to our planet's ecosystems. Plastic debris disrupts habitats and alters the balance of ecosystems, leading to a loss of biodiversity. It's a vicious cycle, where the plastic we thoughtlessly discard today will continue to wreak havoc on our planet for hundreds, if not thousands of years to come. Clearly, the consequences of plastic pollution are far-reaching and dire. It's a global menace that affects all forms of life and threatens the very health of our planet. But remember, this isn't the end of the story. There are solutions, and each one of us has a role to play. So let's move on to the next scene where we'll explore how we can all help curb plastic pollution. You might be pondering, what can I, a single individual, do about such a global issue? Well, let's delve into that. It starts right in your home. Minimizing your plastic footprint can be as simple as swapping single-use plastics for reusable alternatives. Opt for a reusable water bottle, carry your own shopping bags, and say no to straws. Recycling is another key player. Ensure you're doing it right. Rinse your plastics before tossing them in the bin. And let's not forget about the power of the purse. Choose to support companies that prioritize sustainability in their practices. Buy products with less packaging, or better yet, those that use biodegradable or recycled packaging. Remember, your choices, no matter how small they seem, ripple out into the world. They influence others, they influence companies, and they influence policies. Every small action matters, and collectively, we can make a significant impact. Plastic pollution is not just an environmental issue, it's a crisis that affects us all. We've seen the staggering figures, millions of tons of plastic entering our oceans each year, wildlife choked by discarded waste, microplastics infiltrating our food chain. The impact is devastating, far-reaching, and unfortunately, growing. Yet we've also discovered that each of us holds the power to turn the tide. By making conscious choices, reducing, reusing, and recycling, we can significantly cut down the amount of plastic we produce. We can lobby for change, push for legislation, and support companies that prioritize sustainability over profit. This is not a battle we fight alone, but a collective effort. Small actions, when multiplied by millions, can bring about enormous change. It's a crisis, yes, but also an opportunity to redefine our relationship with the world we live in. The time to act is now. Together we can turn the tide on plastic pollution and pave the way for a healthier planet.